And so I'm promoting your book around the world. It maybe just one at a time, but now through this podcast, many at a time. Tell me the main point. What is the $1 million decision of your book, The $1 million Decision?
Yeah, it's very simple. And maybe I can tell you a story. A couple of months ago, I was invited by my son's teacher to give a presentation about the book at his class. And they are like 10 years old, these guys. And I really simplified it. And then I gave out the book, the copies of the book to everybody. And also the teacher was very interested and took one. And now, just a week ago, this teacher sent me an email saying that he read the book. He checked his investment accounts. He checked how much he's paying in fees and commissions for his investments, and he basically realized that 25% of his investments were being taken through commissions and fees in just the last couple of years. And his returns were basically almost nothing in the last 3 years. And in the meantime, the market went up like 40%. So it's crazy. So the main point of the book is simply this. Uh, Pay attention to the commissions and fees that you are paying when investing. For example, the most common investing options like mutual funds and stuff like this, or if you hire a financial advisor, they will charge you a small fee. It's a small fee. It's not really small, but it's they tell you it's a small fee, maybe 1% annually. But the unfortunate consequence of this is that over the long run, these fees compound. And in the end, through these small fees, they take maybe 30% of your money or even 50% of your money. And this is, a really terrible thing for people. So when you invest, if you just lower the fees, you can make much, much, much more money over the long run. And this is not a small difference, it's a huge difference.
Now, mutual funds have that horrible impact that the investor makes much less than he thought, but the salesman makes a huge
A lot
amount.
of money, yeah.
But you have a solution in your book, and it's 3 letters long. What is the solution?
Yeah, it's very simple, me and also all the members that I have in my investing program, we are investing simply in ETFs. These are basically stock funds where you invest in the stock market with the lowest possible fees. Okay, so these fees are like 20 times lower compared to mutual funds or compared to work with the financial advisor.
And how do you access ETFs instead of mutual funds?
Simply, you open a brokerage account. Anybody can open a brokerage account, for example, Interactive Brokers or TD Ameritrade or whatever, and you simply invest in these ETFs. It's very simple. It's very convenient. It's like buying a stock. If you can buy a stock through your broker, you can also buy ETFs. For example, if you want to buy Tesla stock or Apple stock or Meta stock, it's the same thing. The same process. You just need to, of course, you need to know which ETFs to buy.
And there's a sly little caution in your book that some mutual funds with high fees call themselves ETFs.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are a lot of ETFs that are basically mutual funds in disguise. So these index funds or ETFs, they charge high fees, but because they are called ETFs, people think that they charge low fees. So it's yeah. Also, this is a bit of a mess. Like everything else in the financial world. The financial industry, unfortunately, wants to complicate things, and that is why I wrote the book. So people can simplify their financial lives. If you just understand a couple of important details, you can outperform almost anybody in the investing world.
So if you find an ETF that's really an ETF,
Yeah.
then you have to choose a sector. You might choose
Yeah.
transportation, you might choose high tech, you might choose AI, you might choose
Yeah, yeah,
railroads. And I, let me see if I can say it correctly. With the mutual fund, one of the reasons they charge high fees is not just to make the salesman rich, but because there's a lot of research that goes into what are the best stocks. But
yeah,
an ETF, if it's railroads, they just choose the 20 largest railroad companies, and that's it. There's no research. And
yeah.
that's why it's low. And so all you have to do is think about what you think is going to go well over the next 20 years. Like you might think artificial intelligence will do well.
Yeah. Or you can simplify things and simply invest in a global index fund, in a global ETF. So there are quite a few good global ETFs or world ETFs. And by investing in this kind of ETF, you are diversifying across different countries and across different industries. And for most people, this is basically the simplest and the most profitable solution. For example, my wife just does this, you know. My wife simply invests regularly in a global ETF, and that's it. And her returns are amazing. You know, it's very hard to beat. It's very, even the best Wall Street experts can hardly keep up with her because the performance of her ETF is phenomenal. You know, in the last, I have been doing this for 12 years, and you can hardly find another investment that would be so profitable, you know, in this time period.